the react, I just react. If you know, you know, man. But anyways, today, I'm going to be reacting to the worst of the worst. If you are a man and you are this, you are down bad. Today, I'm going to be reacting to Trick interview Chase, man. And I looked at his shirt and I was like, that's your problem right there. That's your problem. That's why you a Trick. That's your problem. Your shirt. No, you shouldn't just be doing it. No. That's your problem. Yeah. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hate it if you hate it. Like it if you like it, man. Like, seriously. Like, I'm so serious. And if you have anything you think I should react to, let me know down below and I'll check it out, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. Hopefully I'm floating on top. Alright, cool.
Alright, Chase.
That's me.
Chase, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Daytona Beach, Florida. And my dad worked for the airlines, so I traveled around a lot. We moved to, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. Been all over.
What was your family like as a kid?
Upper middle class, good family. I was spoiled. Didn't realize it until later on in life.
What kind of relationship did your mom and dad have?
Well, they got divorced when I was about 13. It wasn't that good of a relationship, I'd say.
Yeah.
My mom was always accusing my father of, boning stewardesses and stuff like that. So, that's all I heard. And things flying over the breakfast table in the morning before I went to Catholic school. So.
How far did you go to school?
You went to Catholic school?
First to 8th grade, Catholic school, and then when I went to public school at 9th grade, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I did this.
And I'm not saying it like it's anything wrong with it. I'm just surprised. Because looking at him and looking at what the interview is about, you wouldn't have thought. Him? You wouldn't have thought.
5th grade, and she said, honey, just do your homework, get straight A's. And I said, well, that's what I'm not going to do. And that's when I took off to Inglewood, Compton, Watts.
Hold up, wait. Hold on, what grade? Hold on, wait a minute. What grade? Hold on. I just want to know what grade.
Public school at 9th grade. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I did this in 5th grade. And she said, honey, just do your homework, get straight A's. And I said, well, that's what I'm not going to do. And that's when I took off to Inglewood, Compton, Watts, Lenox,
You moved to L.A.?
I ran away from home at a young age. I was about 14. Hollywood,
Really? So you never went to high school?
No. Went to Whittier High School for a little bit, where Nixon went to school.
Right.
But I think freshman year I took off.
What was your plan at 14 to move to L.A. and do what?
Well, find the truth, see what's really going on. I believed in Santa Claus when I was 14, and I just had a sheltered life, and I knew that, my parents were, well, not my dad, but my mom was bullshitting and, just wouldn't tell me the truth, so I was really pretty much seeking the truth,
It's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of things that they told me that I just knew, it wasn't true. I could tell. I had a gift at a young age. I could tell when people are lying or telling the truth. Very good judge of character. My mother.
Show enough. Kind of ironic, man.
Said, don't ever talk to anybody that has bad teeth because they're not taking care of their hygiene and they're not taking care of their business and things like that. And I'm so glad I didn't listen to her. Gum jobs and, toothless people. You heard of ruthless people, but toothless people, But anyway, whatever turn or crank, I'd get them a bottle or smoke crack with them or whatever just to listen and, get to know, what's going on.
Did drugs become part of your life?
Yes, it did.
At what age?
14.
Yeah, 14. You come down to South Central.
Yeah, crack cocaine was Ronald Reagan was in office. We had the Olympics in Los Angeles.
Don't
And
do drugs,
it was a
kid.
free-for-all.
This is the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. The crack was king then.
One of the best times of my life, really, Inglewood.
Tell me what it was like back then. Because you're a white boy in a black neighborhood.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy at first, because, being sheltered like I was, so I was absorbing everything. But I was very generous, and it saved my ass a few times. And I was very polite, and the strawberries, they saved me a few times. They kind of took me under their wing. This ain't no Mark, this one's special, and
Strawberries are
hookers, that suck your dick.
They call them strawberries? I was trying to figure out what the hell he meant. I'm like, I ain't never in my life heard that term. Strawberries. He just say that strawberries took him under their wing? But ain't you paying? You know what's crazy is like I don't even like mean to like try to like clown it or clown him specifically. It's just I just can't understand the concept. I can't understand why a man could feel so like could be so down bad or could like be in a position where he feel like I have to pay women to get some sort of sexual access because I'm not him. I'm not him, so I have to pay one. And it's like I just feel like you kill your own self-esteem when you do it. Cause you basically telling yourself you can't be him. You can't do it without giving them 300, 500. Like, I just like I ain't even trying to clown him. It's like, bro, like I just don't understand, bro. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, why can't you just walk outside and talk to a woman and get into a relationship and get married? Like what longevity is you gonna get out of paying a hooker, bro? No, like seriously. No, seriously. Like I just don't get it, bro. Like
or whatever you want for crack cocaine, and I watched how they just give them a little Kimball and bit, and then they take a big blast, and I didn't understand that. If I'm going to take a big blast, I'm going to give you a big blast. I want you to feel as good as I do type shit, I'm not going to chinch you or have you fiending for a fucking hit, I'm trying to get to know you. And 3 is my favorite number because of Trinity. I get really close to people when it's, I always put you first, you and I, and, of course, I say God, but the universe or what have you, more spiritual than I am religious.
Mm-hmm. Do you appreciate African American women particularly?
All women.
All women.
All women.
Good for you.
I don't.
But going down to that neighborhood.
Right, but yeah, it was mainly, black in that neighborhood. There wasn't too many white hookers or prostitutes. They're mainly black, and I learned a lot from them. They definitely high tech. High tech.
So now you're hanging around Figueroa Street.
Mainly 99th and Prairie, Century Boulevard. I was hustling at the airport, and then Be Smart, rent a cart. They were $1, and when you returned them, you get a quarter. And I had pockets like this full of quarters, and just man, it was off the hook. The more money I got, the more tricks or the more cracks. So I was just a chicken with my head cut off in the 80s, and there's a lot of money flowing. Cell phones came out, but they were in a big case, and people would leave them in their cart because the seat, they'd lift the seat up and they wouldn't see them, and they're so happy to see their family. And I'd get the cart, and phones would be in the back. So I definitely came up like vomit. That's for sure.
So you got addicted to crack early?
Yes, I did.
And you still are?
No, I could smoke, 20, and that's it. I love blowing it through my nose.
What? I don't understand crack terminology. Okay, I don't. I don't understand the white white purder. Right, white purder. Then that's crazy. Say white purder. See, and I'm still saying it wrong. Say white powder 5 times fast. White powder, white powder, white powder, white powder, white powder. Bro, I used to do that all the time when I was younger, bro.
I love the feeling. It's like euphoric.
Tongue twisters.
There's really nothing better than getting a head job, on crack cocaine. Your senses and everything just, it heightens them,
Yeah, I've heard the sexual experience when you're doing crack is something that
yes, it is. It was definitely addicting. I think I don't know what was more addicting, the head jobs or the crack cocaine, but both of them together was the perfect ingredient.
It's terminology, bro.
And the
toe curler.
Have you ever had relationships with women?
Of course.
Like real, like non.
Don't say it like, bro. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. Of course, like we don't. Like, gonna say it like as if everybody supposed to know. Like what? Come on, man. And I swear if he say, yeah, my last relationship, I got my heart broke, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay women.
What do you mean non-transactional? I mean,
not transactional, like where you're giving them some drugs or money, and they're giving you sex.
Oh, of course. I have a baby mama. I have 2 sons. One's in prison doing 25 years. And the other
my God!
In San Diego. I'm still in touch with her and everything.
25 years?
It seems like everybody that I've ever had contact with or made love to, I can still make love to them today. So
that's great.
It's a good relationship, I'd say.
You don't make a lot of enemies.
Yeah, I bet.
You have two kids?
2 boys, yeah.
And you said one is in prison?
Yes.
And where's the other?
San Diego, Vista.
Okay. And you were part of their life growing up?
Yes. Definitely. My mom said I was too honest with them. I don't know how you could be too honest with your children. I definitely didn't want to have them believe in Santa Claus when they were 14 years old. And then, I didn't lie to them. I kept it real. And
all right, bro. You don't have to keep bringing
type thing. My boys, they feel how much I love them and vice versa. So I don't even write him. He's in prison, but it's like, I send him my energy and power.
What? Yo, now what the fuck kind of dad are you? Regardless of what he's doing, regardless of how his son ended up in prison, whether it was wrong, whether it was right, I don't know. But you as a father, to sit up here and say that you don't even call your son, and he about to say some BS like, I'm just sending him my energy and love. The fuck kind of father are you? Like, I was like, as if it wasn't bad enough that you paying women. But your son doing 25 and you can't even write him?
Or and things like that, and, it bounces back.
What is your son in prison for?
A lady tried robbing him for 2 pieces of heroin. He moved up to Washington, but I taught him everything I knew at the time, and I've always dealt drugs or, hustled on the streets and things like that. So 2 pieces of heroin, and she tried running him over. And of course, at a young age, I taught my boys how to shoot a gun, and a lot of unloaded weapons kill kids every year. So I made sure that they knew if somebody was pointing a gun, pointed at the ground, and, don't play with guns. They're not toys, and things like that. But he shot her in the throat, when she was trying to run him over, and she's paralyzed from her neck down. And he said, they're offering me 25 years, Dad. I said, with the L? He said, no. I said, sign it, and I hopped on a Greyhound. I've been homeless for, I'd say, the last 20 years by choice.
Damn!
I did some hustling, and I hopped on a Greyhound and went up to see him because I also did a lot of time in prison. And I've seen a lot of homies and good motherfuckers get 25 years and not only do they pass out in court, but as soon as they hit a yard, they get a gram of heroin and they're dead. You know, they don't want to cope with it. 25 years is a long fucking time, you know. And so I hopped on a Greyhound and went up there and.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Like, granted, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, isn't it kind of self-defense because she was gonna run him over? I'm just putting that out there. Like, if she was gonna hurt him first, isn't that kind of self-defense? I don't know. I don't know the whole story. You know, if anybody watched this video and you know the whole story, bro, let me know, bro. I don't know the whole story, so like, I don't know. But I'm just saying, that sounds like a self-defense situation.
Eye to eye.
And to get 25 for something that sounds like a self-defense situation, you know, like, I don't know about that one.
And my baby's mama, Shailene, she said, don't get a hotel room or anything. You know, you can stay with me. I said, well, that's cool. You know, but I brought a bunch of speed up there to sell because they don't have the dope that we have down here, and they have good weed up there. So, you know, I brought some speed up there and slung that and stayed with Shailene and went and saw my son.
So selling drugs is how you've kind of gotten by?
Yes.
For the most part, since you were out here?
Yeah. Yeah, I went down to Mexico at a young age. I was tired of buying junk cut. And I thought to myself, well, what's the best? Most of the drugs are coming through Tijuana. You know, my dad took me down there at a young age. We'd stimulate the economy at Christmas time, help the poor people, you know, watch a donkey show or what have you, and, you know, buy some Tony Lama boots and some belts and come back to, you know, California.
For those that don't know, what you just said was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You're stimulating the economy by seeing a donkey show. Explain that.
Well, it's a woman that is getting fucked by a donkey. And I don't know if you know how big a donkey dick.
Hold on. I'm not ready for this part. What did I just get myself into? What? You know what? I ain't even gonna go back. I don't even really want to know. I ain't even gonna lie.
Ridiculous, but it's fucking ridiculous. And it's a trip to watch. And of course, a big crowd, you know, it's on Revolution Street in downtown, you know, Tijuana. And it's like, you know, this fucking donkey's just fucking kicking. And, you know, the way she's getting, you know, fucked with that donkey, it's just a trip. But if you're in the audience and you're taking a picture, my dad was a photographer in Fallbrook, you're going to pay him $5. And, you know, people are trying to take a picture. And back then it was Polaroids, you know, so it's $5 for a Polaroid because seeing is believing. What, a bitch, you got fucked by a donkey? You got to be kidding me. Well, yeah, check it out. But so my dad had, of course, a Nikon and zoom lens, and, you know, he's zooming in, and, you know, they must have about 5 or 6 prizes in the crowd because you're not going to get away with taking a picture without paying. And, you know, my dad's always good with his mouth and stuff, but you know, so he gave him a 20. You know, eventually, you know, he didn't want to pay either, right? You know, it's this camera. What you talk about? Blah blah blah. But he's seen they were working together, and it's tighter than a frog's ass down there. You know, but he gave him $20 and said no problem.
How old were you when your dad was taking you down there?
Oh, I think young man. I was young.
That's crazy.
You know, I couldn't even tell you. Probably,
that's diabolical work.
13, 14.
That's diabolical work.
He'd take me down there younger than that, and, you know, I'd buy firecrackers and Chicle and, you know, smuggle them back. He said he had a 79 V-Dub camper that was green. It was a pop-up camper, and we stayed down there for a while. But he'd say, don't be buying any fireworks, or we'd get sticks of dynamite and shit, you know, homemade. But I'd stash them in the V-Dub and bring them across the border, and then I'd sell them, you know, in school or to the neighbors and shit like that.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. It was, definitely. Had some good times down there.
And it's probably no surprise then that you're hanging out with working girls.
Right.
In South Central.
It was a tit for tat on a lot of times, you know. I'm looking out for them. They're looking out for me. Back in the 80s, there's a lot of pimps and, you know, a lot of crazy shit go on. Cisco was the drink for the women, and it had some kind of sulfur in it, and it just would make them flip. And I mean, the things that I've seen, on Cisco, I guess they took that ingredient out of the drink, but it was crazy. The bloodbath, that I've seen. I mean, just um, the arms to the Contras. Oliver North was the scapegoat. We had cocaine coming in by the CIA. So we had crackheads that were now driving Cadillac Coupe de Villes with kilos in their trunk. And when they were smoking with us on the streets and hustling, and now they don't take short change. Short change is like, it's a dime, $10 for, dime crack rock, and you're coming with $6 and change and quarters. And, many a times I've seen guys, money changed them, so now they think they're, big wig, they got money, they're better than us. And they'd slap the change out of a, crack monster's hand, and booyah, head blown off. And before he hit the ground, motherfuckers were in his pocket, grabbing his chain, getting the keys to the Cadillac. I mean, over and over and over again, I've seen that happen, and I'm just going like, "What the fuck? Let me get out of here before you." But,
Has South Central gotten better since then, or is it worse?
It's getting a lot better. Oh yeah, then back in the '80s, it was like, man, murders everywhere. Crips, Bloods. That's what the government wants us doing, fighting each other. I believe in one love, and
That's true.
treat other person like you want to be treated. You know what I mean? I've never had any problems. I'm blessed like a motherfucker, but on a few occasions, the hookers saved my ass. This ain't no mark.
Bro,
This one's special.
They didn't save you, bro. They didn't save you. You are homeless. You are broke. They did not save you. You saved them. I can't, bro. You are homeless. How did they save you?
Ain't laying a hand on, and get in front, and protect me like that. And there's only two, strawberries from the '80s that are still alive because they get on dialysis. But some of the stories and some of the, wounds I've seen on their tits, every time a guy took a crack hit, he'd burn them on their, chest, and just some of the
bro,
scars
what the hell?
What
kind of what?
And back then, Rambo was real popular, so they were selling those Rambo knives for $1.99 in downtown LA. And the back would unscrew, and you'd have a thing in there with 2 rings on it where you can cut a limb off a tree. Well, they're cutting heads off and stabbing motherfuckers with those knives, and I had quite a few of them pulled on me, and thank God I haven't been stabbed. But once again, strawberry cutting in the way. This ain't no mark, this one's special, and I always listened to him and absorbed. I was like SpongeBob SquarePants, I was absorbing everything like a sponge, for survival, and things like that.
Don't ever in your life ever compare yourself to SpongeBob the icon. Ever in your life. You will never be SpongeBob, okay? Ever. Never. The hell wrong with him gonna compare himself to? SpongeBob ain't paying these hoes. SpongeBob getting money, okay? He getting money at the Krusty Krab. What you talking about, man? What?
Yeah, but then I started doing things at the airport and bringing brothers down there. Oh, we can't go to the airport. Shit, you white and we black, and they're going to lock us up. And I say, hey, man, I wouldn't let that happen to you, But every time I brought a brother to the airport, they wasn't fucking with me and they'd fuck with him. But I'd keep an eye on them and make sure that I'd cut in, because I was stealing Air France would bring in the croissants in the morning, and they'd have ham and Swiss and, cherry tomatoes. Just everything was so ripe and perfect. $20 back in the '80s, you'd pay for that. But I was stealing them and giving them to the undercover cops that were sitting out there reading the paper looking for, pickpockets. And, there's a lot of shit going on at LAX airport back in the day. And I knew all the undercover cops. I went to a few DEA, Christmas parties, and they had pot plants with baggies of flour. And of course I had to see what it was, what they got in there. And, it was flour, but a real pot plant with flour in it. And they were teaching ticket agents how to look for drug dealers that were going one way with their carry-on. Cocaine was the big thing back then. The white man's aspirin. But if you get busted with an ounce of powder, you're going to get a slap on the hand. You get busted with an ounce of crack, you're going away for 10, 20 years. So I was seeing how the laws and how things were happening. It's like every time somebody was coming up that was black, they were killing them. Or
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to really go off topic, bro. I just got the most dumbest text. I will address it after the video. I just got a really dumb text that just pissed me off.
Doing something, so I was very interested in that and intrigued. It's like, what's going on? What are people afraid of? Or, and some of the most intelligent motherfuckers I've ever met in my life were crackheads. I mean, on a high tech, I say high tweak level because I'm a Redland baby, and now I do speed, and every day, I've been doing speed since I was 14, except when I go to jail. But if it's in there, I hustle and get it, or it's a white boy, and he blesses me because I have the keys to the, jail cell or what have you.
You did prison time as well?
Yes, I have.
What was that for?
Oh, a lot of drugs, robberies, burglaries, pretty much everything from A to Z except for murder and rape.
Yeah. And you still have ongoing relationships with a lot of the girls that work? The hotels and the streets?
Of course. I mean,
what do you
I'm
like?
A freak. I was born a freak. I mean, so it's like, and once you go black, you never go back type shit.
Explain that. Why is that?
Well,
I've heard that.
The dark side. The dark side. It's either black or white. And there is no gray area. That's, you have gray matter in your brain, and I've seen that splattered all over the concrete plenty of times.
Bro, why you gotta be so dark?
What
the hell?
You can't straddle the fence. And I picked the dark side a long time ago.
I'm like, damn, not only is you doing what you're doing, but then you got dark humor. Why did you have to say that? Like, I seen the brains on the ground, like, bro.
I believe I was born, married to Diablo, so to speak. I always wear a wedding band, and people say, "Oh, are you married?" Well, not.
Bro, all right, since this ain't gonna do this shit, I'm doing a reaction. I'm gonna call you back.
Only are women attracted to men that are married. But, I feel that I've been married to Diablo from birth. I mean, it's like just the way my life has been and the way I am.
But that doesn't mean black women represent the devil or anything like that.
No, nothing of the sort. I think the sickest and craziest ones I've ever met were white. As far as strawberries concerned, or hookers. I mean, just I thought I was sick. You know what I mean?
How often do you get involved with the girls down there?
Daily.
Daily.
Daily. I've been doing some other things. I just got an apartment through the homeless thing that's going on. I was fighting a murder beef that I had nothing to do with, and I did 8 months fighting that. And I was just seeing all the money that they're giving, for this and for that. And, I know a lot of street family, I call them, SF, since we're from California, and San Francisco. It's gold and maroon 6, and 4 and 9 is 13. So it's like, I thought, well, that's a good street family, Trece. Not only for the raza, but, like Lucky 13, you know what I mean? And so I've always had a bunch of compounds. And compound is a homeless encampment where there's a head charge, and that was me. And I had a crew that, ran it real tight. Women were safe. You didn't have to worry about anything. And that's a good feeling, on the streets in this day and age. You can kick back, enjoy yourself, get your dick sucked, fuck. We can barbecue. This guy has a route. He's getting ice cream. This guy gets fresh fruit. This guy's boosting steak at fucking Ralph's. So, we were eating good. And, it was awesome. Wasn't like, oh, I'm homeless and I'm stressing. And, blessed like a motherfucker and ran a tight, compound.
So you live a life that's very, very different from what most people
Yes,
have ever even imagined.
Yes, I would say so. And there's a, black market underground, that's out here. And anything that you have to pay big money for, I can get cheap, and it's not counterfeit. It's the real McCoy. Either they stole a 18-wheeler or, they busted into a warehouse and filled up a U-Haul truck or, it seems like we get all the, best brands before other people do. It's a trip, the connections.
Tell me about some of the working girls that you've known over the years, like some of the as strawberries, as you call them.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about them as a subculture.
I'll tell you, like I said, the most intelligent women I've ever met in my life were smoking crack. And of course, when I smoked crack, I wasn't so much into the sex part, but boy, would they get your dick hard and rock it like a motherfucker, or, show me tricks of the trade where, the pipes used to have a bowl and then it had a bubble and then it would, go down. And I was making so much money, man. There's so much oil in that pipe. And what they do is they take the Brillo out and put in some 151.
Bro, stop trying to give people ideas. The hell, bro? He about to explain the whole process. I don't want to know how to do that stuff. And you shouldn't either. Bro.
And put it on any table. And I was a germ freak growing up. I'd wash my hands 1,000 times. Boy, did I get over that. And going to the airport, watching, the people on the street, I was like, what in the fuck is that guy doing in that trash can? What could be in that trash can where he's digging in like that? His feet are, out like that. Like, what the fuck? I was a germ phobe. And I'm not now, but if somebody sneezed, I'd literally go like that because I know that's coming out of your mouth at so many miles per hour, and you're gonna, hit me with the germs, and it's a trip, how I swapped, slipped over to that, started dumpster diving, and finding the gold down at the bottom of the fucking trash can because it was so heavy. But Mercedes is one that comes to mind, and she taught me how to do that, and then she lights it on fire, and the 151 is flammable, of course, and it evaporates real quick. And then she'd get out a card, and nobody had ID back then, but a pile, and it looked like brown heroin, kind of like Huff, the shit that you go on a spoon, and it would melt. And
bro, he explaining the whole
caviar, which is crack cocaine, and she'd put some of that pure crack cocaine, pure cocaine. And she'd suck my dick. We were in glass houses, which a glass house is, a spot like this, I'd say, but everybody has their back against the wall and they're hitting the pipe, just sizzling the crack on there. And if you had money, you could rent the bathroom and sit on the toilet, get your dick sucked or bend her over the shower, fucking sink or what have you. And so I'd always like that. And, go in there, no privacy or what have you. And talk about a toe curler, tell me when you're about ready to nut. And then, and she lighted because, when you're feeding on crack, you just put that light on, you're, sizzling it up and you're sucking like a golf ball through a garden hose. So you're pulling all the dope through the screen, but you got to hit it slow. And there is a technique that I finally learned. And but I'll tell you, it's like convulsions, toe curler, eyes rolling back in the head, and sucking up every fucking bit of nut, in your ball sack.
Can you enjoy sex without the drugs now?
Sure. Of course. It's better. Why would you? Why would you not use a drug that intensifies it by, I say, times 10? You know what I mean? Of course, sensitive. The head of your cock's more sensitive. It's almost like ecstasy. I've had women that. And I haven't done DMT and some things that I look forward to using, but it's like they come with me combing their hair. They're so, sensitive and stuff. They got some pills out now that it was called Molly. That's what it was. But your whole body's tingling and, just the fuck, it's can't even put it in words, but, 10 times, 100 times, sensitive, and got more nuts than a squirrel. That's for sure.
That would explain why these drugs are so popular.
Yeah. Well, they say crystal meth and friend of mine. I don't call it, that's what I call it, crystal meth and friend of mine. And she's never let me down. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of fentanyl in it now. How can you smoke a bowl of speed and go to sleep? So,
right, that doesn't make sense.
They're into the money. They want you addicted. They want you buying more. They want you smoking more. I don't fuck around with that. I have a source. I've been down to Tijuana, so I know, people, and I got connections, and I don't fuck around with that. But it's not what it used to be, but it's still good. The P2P dope back in the day is the dope, and then they started. There's not too much P2P dope.
What is P2P?
It's a chemical that they definitely are controlling. Ephedrine's coming over from China. It's a plant, but I see ships getting busted out there in the waters, tons of ephedrine. It's supply and demand, and they can't get enough supply over here for the demand. And, it's cheap now. It's about $100 an ounce. I remember when fucking 8-balls were $100, and back in the day, crack cocaine is still expensive. I'd say about 200 8-ball, 8-track to call it, But I get a good source, and the fentanyl I don't fuck with, because it does kill people. I mean, they're dropping like fucking flies, man. And it's in the pills. Everything's made down in Mexico. So the M30s, if it's coated, it's from the pharmacy, and if it's not coated, it's a press down in Mexico. But they want the ones that aren't coated because they got fentanyl in them, and you never know. They can't mix it up perfect, so people are ODing on them. They're dropping
I'm
like
sure
flies.
Living the life you have, you've lost a lot of friends.
Oh man, I've seen a lot of death around me. I'll tell you. Yeah, and I don't have any friends. I consider the people I cross paths with soulmates. A friend is somebody you think you know who they are, and they stab you in the back when you least expect it. I got soulmates. I'm honest with people. I'm, good motherfucker, and I expect the same in return. And if I don't get it, I'll take it. Type shit.
Hmm.
Do you
have any regrets of not living a straight?
Not one. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change one motherfucking thing. It made me the man I am today. And if
a goddamn up trick. I think I've seen enough. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate you, because you didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate that. If you didn't, maybe next time, man. I'm out, man. Catch y'all next.